So once a contract is signed, what role does procurement play over the life of the contract then?
Typically in big shops for the tier one contracts, so the big, high value, strategic or really risky contracts, someone from procurement, or sometimes you might be introduced to a vendor management office, a slightly different team. They will actually drive the governance regime within the contract, so they'll stay heavily involved and they'll actually chair the monthly account meetings and make sure that the quarterly or annual more strategic meetings happen and that they're heavily involved. And they'll do things like check invoices, check service level reports and be very hands-on. Typically that only happens for a very small number of contracts, and for most of them they'll be handed back over to the business owner with a list of a few of the things that you need to do. But then it's up to the business owner to manage, and that includes raising POs, checking invoices, checking service levels, and occasionally providing documentation back to procurement or to the VMO. The activities where procurement will get called back in if there's a formal dispute, if variation is required, which happens all the time. So it's a new bit of legal contract documentation needs to be drawn up. Procurement will get involved with that. And also at the end of the contract, when it's either up for expiry or renewal.
Bernie, some of the conversations you and I have had have been around AI, of course. What sort of impacts are you seeing now with AI on the procurement process, the way people purchase or the way vendors are turning up?
I think it's really exciting, man. It's a really exciting time to see this change to the industry. I'm an optimist. I think it's going to make our jobs more interesting and free us out of a whole lot of relatively low value, repeatable admin work. Give us time to focus on the important stuff, which is more fun. So really, for the simple transactions, enabling self-service, which procurement functions have as a goal and an ideal, but it's often harder to implement. It's often easier said than done when you tell people this is self-service, off you go. Normally a procurement person does get dragged back in. So reducing the friction and enabling self-service for the simple ones. And then for the complex ones, I think there are great opportunities for risk analysis, for a lot of knowledge retention. Often during a negotiation, people will think, we've hit a hard problem. That might be on a legal point, negotiating a liability cap or insurances or something like that. And they'll know we've solved this problem before, but we can't quite remember which deal it was on or the person's left. So we solve it multiple times. I think there are great opportunities for knowledge retention. How have we solved this problem before, which will really speed things up. I think the front of the process, helping the business and procurement managers with market analysis and also helping them tighten up their requirements, getting their specs. So not having AI write the specs for them, but really checking it for gaps. Are we solid? What have we missed?
So there's quite a lot that it can help with that.
I think so.
Pull out those tasks that AI can do, and then you can focus on the more important high value stuff.
That's right.
Bernie, it's been a fantastic discussion. There's a few things that I've learned which I hope we can share with people. So really appreciate you giving us that first cut. And then the next segment we're going to do together, we'll dive into a bit more around what's happening on the vendor side and what you experience from the vendor side and how you work with that. Thanks for your time.
That's been fun, Martin. I look forward to the next session.